All right, thank you so much for setting all this up. I heard Mary said something. She's a nurse. She's always in the background, and like being in the background, all that back office work is so important. Without the back office work, there is no front office. So thank you everybody for who is doing the back office work for allowing the front office to function. Okay, so just a friendly reminder to myself and others, we start by learning from others. So the thought, like yoga is about controlling the mind. So I have all kinds of crazy or helpful or not so helpful stories in my mind. And by reading and learning from others, I can compare my stories to someone else's stories and then find something that might work better for me. So that's why I like to learn from others. Okay, so what does Dalai Lama have to say today? So as far as our contact with fellow human beings is concerned, our mental attitude is very crucial. Even for a non-believer, just a simple, honest being. The ultimate source of happiness is in our mental attitude. Even if you have good health, material facilities used in the proper way, and good relations with other human beings, the main cause of a happy life is within. I'm going to read this one more time. It's short. So, as far as our contact with fellow human beings is concerned, our mental attitude is very crucial. Even for a non-believer, just a simple, honest being, the ultimate source of happiness is in our mental attitude. Even if you have good health, material facilities used in the proper way, and good relations with other human beings. The main cause of a happy life is within. The main cause of a happy life is within. And the power in that statement is cool, because if the power for my own happiness lies within, then I am in control. I have the power. Okay, so let's find your seat, sitting up tall. We have done this practice many, many, many times. And yet, every time we do this practice, it's a slightly different experience. I find that fascinating. Okay, if you want to bring awareness to your feet, lift the heels, lift the toes, just reminding ourselves of the connection to earth. It's always there, even when the most crazy story is happening in my mind and I feel like I'm flying around, the connection to earth is still there. I just sometimes forget. And then if you want to shift your awareness to your sitting bones, feeling those two stable, strong sitting bones, maybe shift your weight from one to the other, knowing that are at least two parts of you there. And maybe think about like pain and pleasure, black, white, fear, love. And we have choice. I have choice. I can see things from a painful perspective. I can see it from a pleasure perspective, or I can find balance, neutral, with equal weight on both sitting bones. And then bringing your awareness up to the crown of the head, maybe use your fingertips to just touch the crown of the head. Push the crown of the head into your fingers. Notice when you do that, you're pushing the sitting bones towards the chair, and your spine finds its natural curve. Every spine is different. Every spine has its natural curve. What does your natural curve look like? And then imagine how you're dropping down to midbrain, third eye, midbrain. You can close your physical eyes and then use your midbrain, mind's eye, third eye. What can you see? What can you see with your third eye? What do you see? And then maybe place your hands on your knees and then start the cat-cow movement to wake up or warm up the spiritual and the physical spine, the core of you, that part of you that is true, that part of you that has complete awareness. Maybe exhale and round your back. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale and round. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale and round. Noticing how the first two koshas in your body are working together, the physical body and the breath body, just like a well-functioning team. And then finding your way back to neutral. Feel those two sitting bones and the weight is equal on both. You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning backwards, you're not leaning to the left, you're not leaning to the right, you're right in the middle, right in the middle. And then look at your hands. Look at your hands. Look at those beautiful hands. And then do some blinking, bubbling stars. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows. Straighten the elbows. Breathe. And then reach and reach and reach and reach. Notice how the skin is stretching. Maybe notice how the rib cage is opening up. And maybe even you can imagine how the lungs are stretching so they can absorb or handle more oxygen. And then reach up tall, turn to one side, let the arms open up, look behind you. The fingertips are reaching away from each other. How far apart can your fingertips go? Stay where you are. Maybe notice how you're using your feet. The feet are still securely grounded into the earth, and that allows the twist. Breathe. And then release. Lift the shoulders a few times. And then look at your hands again. Look at those beautiful hands. And then blinking, bubbling stars. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. And then reach and reach. Knowing that we make choices, every day we make choices. What story are you choosing to tell yourself right now? And then reach, turn to the other side, open up the arms. Fingertips are reaching away from each other. How far apart can those fingertips move? Do you feel how your fingertips, even though they are very far apart, how they're still connected through the arms, shoulders, throat? And then release. Lift the shoulders a few times, maybe roll them, or lift and release, lift and release, lift and release. Okay. Now look at your left hand first. Look at your left hand first. Look at those fingers. Maybe imagine your fingers as a paintbrush, and you are an artist, and you can paint whatever picture that you like. So find your paint, find your color, and then draw a picture. Maybe starting with 3 big circles, 2, 1. And then you can do whatever you want. You can paint inside the circle. You can paint outside the circle. You can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. And then release. And then look at your right hand. And maybe imagine your hand as an artist paintbrush. Pick your colors. And you can draw whatever picture that you want. 3, 2, 1. And then whatever you want, whatever you want. And then release and back to neutral. Maybe breathe a few times thinking about those pictures that you just painted. And you paint them and then release. You paint them and release. Paint them and release. All right, finding cactus. And then gently twisting. Twisting, and notice how as you're twisting, you see your room from different perspectives. So when you twist to the right, you see one thing. When you twist to the left, you see something else. Maybe go swimming. And then backwards. And then letting the knee and elbow connect. Knee and elbow connect. Knees and elbows are joints that are very similar yet different. Similar yet different. And then cross the midline, so opposite elbow to opposite knee. And then release. Look at those hands again, blinking, bubbling stars all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten those elbows. Maybe imagine your hands and fingers as feathers, or your arms as wings and your fingers as feathers. And then stretch those wings up high, allow the feathers to go out, and then fly away. Open up those wings and then fly away, fly away, fly away. And you can go anywhere you want, anywhere you want. And then you can turn the palms up and you can fly up high up into the sky. And then you can turn forward and dive deep. Inhale, fly up high. Exhale and dive. Inhale, fly up high. Exhale and dive. And then bring the arms behind you. Hold on to opposite arms. And stay there. Stay there. Breathing. Maybe imagine your arms as wings. Notice any soreness. Maybe you were on a really long flying tour and now your wings are tired. Maybe imagine your breath as rinsing, healing, water, and allow that breath or that healing water to care for your wings. And then release the arms. Okay. Now bring the feet wider than your mat, creating a wide, stable stance, a wide, stable stance. Maybe bring the toes in slightly. So a wide, stable stance. And then with that wide, stable stance, notice how you can lean pretty far to the left and pretty far to the right without falling. So I can go deep into pain and I can go deep into pleasure and explore and experience deep parts of me if I have this wide, stable stance. Maybe just when you put your feet in Tadasana and just notice if I lean to the left very quickly, I'm going to fall. Yeah. And so I can't with a narrow stance, I can only explore shallow parts of pain and shallow parts of pleasure before I kind of fall. So with a wide, stable stance, I can explore and experience more or deeper levels of pain and pleasure, black or white, fear or love, whatever opposite that you can come up with. So with a wide, stable stance, I can explore and experience more. And maybe move in circles, one way and then the other way, forward and backwards. And then come back up to neutral and just stay there for a few moments. Just notice that wide and stable stance. And then move from that wide, stable stance to Tadasana feet, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. And this requires more balance. Okay, and then lift that right knee up, creating the circles. You can go one way and then the other way. Maybe use your toes. Maybe look at your feet and look at those toes. Use them as a paintbrush. Get your color and then draw a color or a painting or an image with your toes. So how is your toe picture different from your finger picture? Well, to me, this is harder. And then step out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together, lengthen the spine. The pit of the belly goes in and up, in and up. Breathe. And you know where we're going next. You decide when it's time to fold forward. You can stay here for a long time or a short time. And eventually, if you want to, you can release the head down. Maybe use the elbows to guide the knees wide and drop the head. You decide. Inhale, come back up. And then place that right foot on the left knee. Maybe use your fingers to open up the toes. And gently guide that knee out wide, seated pigeon. Once again, as you're sitting in this posture, find the place that's sore, that needs healing. We have all been walking on this earth for a long time, and it would be strange if we didn't have any sore spots. So finding the blisters, the soreness, the pain, and then imagine your breath as this healing power within you that can rinse and clean and heal. And then slide the knees together. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under. Give yourself a hug. Maybe move from side to side and remind yourself how much you love yourself. Remind yourself how much you love yourself. There are parts of you that are absolutely amazing. And then there are parts that needs maybe to learn a few things. Okay, from here, find your version of eagle. Your version of eagle. So seated eagle, seated eagle. And then think about, what kind of eagle are you today? What does your eagle look like today? Some days we are big and strong and we can conquer the world. And other days we are babies who just want to stay in the nest and sleep. So what kind of eagle are you today? What do you need today? And then when you're ready, if you're ready, let those fingers or feathers reach up towards the sky. Open up your wings, open up your wings. Fly out, and then land on the next mountain top. And then we try again. And then we try again. This time, lifting the left knee. Look at your toes. Imagine them as paintbrushes. Get some color. And then paint your picture. Paint your picture. What kind of picture would you like to paint today? And then step out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together. Lengthen the spine. Breathe. And now place the left hand on the floor. Or if you have, my arms are very long, but if you need to bring the floor up, you can use a block or a book or something and place the hand on the block. And then the other hand on the right knee. Now lengthen the spine here. So inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, push into your hand and look up towards the sky to find the twisting motion in the body. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. And then release down, let the head be heavy. Inhale, come back up, elbows to knees, fingertips together, lengthen the spine. Breathe. And then place the right hand on the floor or a block or a book, left hand on the left knee. Lengthen the spine. So finding your natural curve, inhale, and then exhale, push into both hands, look up towards the sky, and find a twisting motion in the body. And then release, drop the head. Let the head be heavy. Allow gravity to do what gravity is really good at. And then inhale, come back up. And then place that left knee on top of the right, left foot on top of the right knee. Use your fingers to open up the toes, open up the toes. You know, if we're going to use our feet as paintbrushes, we need flexibility in those toes. And then maybe use your elbow to gently guide that knee out. Seated pigeon, seated pigeon. And then slide the knees together. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under. Give yourself a hug. And then remind yourself that about self-compassion. So there's a part of you and everyone that is perfect. The core of you is always perfect. And then there are parts of us that are still in training. So being compassionate about the parts of us that are still in training. And then finding your version of eagle. Maybe imagine your arms as wings and your fingers as feathers. And right now, what kind of eagle are you right now? Maybe look at the color, the size, the shape, remembering that every day your eagle is going to look slightly different. And then at some point, allowing those feathers to reach up towards the sky, release the wings out high, 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 spread your wings, fly, fly, find your journey, You can fly wherever you want, And eventually you're gonna land, I think, on top of another mountain. Okay, building some strength in the legs. So making sure that your feet are stable. So now we're looking for a stance that's like hip distance apart. And then transfer the weight up, forward and up, and then pick a number. I always pick 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then shake it out. And then do it one more time. So transfer the weight forward, push into your feet and come up to standing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Transfer the weight forward and up, and this time we're going to stay standing. Okay, blinking, bubbling stars. All the way up, clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, straighten the elbows. And then start the side bending. And reach, and reach, and reach, and reach. And then let the arms go. Let the arms go. Let the arms go. And then bend the knees, bend the knees. And maybe let your arms just go wherever they want to go. And you don't have to stay on the mat. You can leave the mat. You can have one foot on the mat. You can have the other foot on the mat. You can have no feet on the mat. And you can move whatever way you want, as long as you're not kicking down the furniture. And then arms in cactus, swimming forward, swimming backwards, and then allowing the knee and the elbow to connect. Knee and elbow can connect. And then crossing the midline, crossing the midline. And then coming into a position of power, position of power. Remember, the Dalai Lama talked about the power of my happiness lies within me. I am in control of the way I feel and experience the world. So if I can connect to that power within, things are going to change. So finding that position of power. And then sometimes all we need is a kick in the butt, like clicking on that link or showing up for practice or preparing a class. Remembering that we are all students and we are all teachers. We're all students and we're all teachers. And then lift the foot out towards the side, waking up the external hips, the external support in the body. And then lean and lift, lean and lift, lean and lift. This is stressful for the body. And then lean and lift to the other side, lean and lift. And then release. Okay, now, so we're gonna pick something that we need to push away. So Dalai Lama talked about the power within. So the opposite of the power within would be, I would say, external noise. So maybe external noise. So let's open up the fingers and then maybe imagine external noise. And then push it away, push it away. So imagine external noise and then push the external noise away, push it away, push it away. And then it's going to try to sneak in and it's going to be very hard to resist. And maybe you have to bend the elbows a little bit. But then eventually you're going to find the power to push that external noise away, push the external noise away. And maybe you have to kick it a little bit. And it's going to try to come in from the side and from the back. And you're going to succeed. And you're going to keep that external noise away. And then eventually we have created enough space that we can release and find that power within. And that's worth celebrating. So let's do 3 sun salutations. You can start with your feet hip distance apart or big toes to touch. That's your choice, depending on what you need right now. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale down the midline. That was 1. Let's try a second one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. And then the knees, inhale all the way back up. Exhale down the midline. Last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Then the knees, inhale all the way back up. Exhale down the midline. And then stay there, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. Self-love and self-compassion. You have the power. And release. Okay, now big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Okay, finding warrior, we're gonna step back to warrior 1. So finding chair posture, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, the right heel comes off. Take a big step back, find the earth behind you with the toes and then the heel. Building warrior 1 from the ground up, ground up. Okay, warrior 1, checking things out, observing without judgment, taking in the facts. No judgment yet. Choice comes later. Add some blinking, bubbling stars. Put your hands in your back pockets. Breathe. And then transfer the weight forward. Pick up that back leg, the toes are pointing down. Lift the opposite hand off the chair. You can stay here or you can add movement, allowing the elbow and knee to connect. Or maybe you want to take the bind and let the fingers and the toes to connect. That's another option. And then release the feet back together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. Try the other side. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, find the earth behind you with your toes and then the heel. Building warrior 1 from the ground up, from the ground up. Warrior 1, simply observing, no judgment, taking in the facts. And then add some sprinkles, rainbow sprinkles. Place your hands in your back pockets. And then if you want to bring your awareness to your heart space. Heart space. What would happen if you allowed your heart to lead? Allowing your heart to lead. Transfer the weight forward, become that air, become the message. Lift the opposite hand and then add some movement, allowing knee and elbow to connect, or maybe allowing hands, fingers and toes to connect. And then release the feet back together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. Okay, let's step back to warrior 2 this time. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, the right heel comes off. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic halves, finding warrior two. One arm in the back, past, and one arm in the future. And we are right here in the present moment. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior. So with your mind, maybe observe some of the stories from the past. What are the stories from the past? And then come back, travel through the present moment into extended side angle. And then maybe see what are the stories, some of the stories that your mind creates about the future. What are some of the stories? And then finding your way back to the present moment. This is really the only thing that truly exists, the present moment. Hand on your hips, straighten that front knee, release the hand down or maybe to the chair, finding Trikonasana. Now, allow your gaze to travel from the floor, wall, up towards the sky. Maybe let that arm go up high too. Breathe. Bring the hand down, bring the gaze down, rebend that front knee, and find your way back to warrior two. Now hands on the chair, pick up that back foot, look at your toes. Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe lift the same hand off the chair. Maybe let it come all the way up towards the sky, still looking at those toes. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, feet back together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic halves. Finding warrior two. Flip the front hand, reverse the warrior. So once again, just observe the stories from the past. Observe the stories from the past. And then move into the future and observe some of the stories you're creating about the future. What are some of the stories you're creating about the future? And then finding your way back to the present moment. How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? Hands on your hips, straighten that front knee, release the knee, the hand down, either to your lower leg or to your chair. That's your choice. Now, your gaze is going from the floor, up the wall, and maybe all the way up towards the sky. If you want to, you can let the arm reach up towards the sky too. Trikonasana. And then bring the hand down, bring the gaze down, rebend the front knee, find warrior two again. Place the hand on the chair, pick up that back foot, look at your toes. Maybe release the same hand, up. And then bring the hand down, bring the feet together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. All right, tree posture. So imagine yourself as a mountain, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. So a big, strong, tall, sturdy mountain. Drop a seed. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. This is the beginning of your tree. This is the beginning of your tree. Maybe that's it. Or maybe your tree starts to grow. And you don't really know what that tree is going to look like. So start growing your tree. And then find a version that works for you. Oh my goodness. And then stay there for a moment. And then release back down. Okay, transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. We have to drop the seed first. And then explore a different tree on the other side. And find something and stay there for a few moments, exploring this version of tree. And then release and find your way back down onto the mountain. Okay, now feet wider than your hips, spread the toes, hands on the chair, release the knees down. Blinking, bubbling stars. Place your hands in your back pockets, elbows move towards each other. Bring your awareness to your heart space. Can you feel the power within? What color is your power? What color does your power within have today? And then untuck the toes, bring the knees wide, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart, finding child's posture. If child's posture is not available to you, a similar posture could be using the chair and drop the head down. That's another version of child's posture. Inhale, come back up. Clasp your hands. Create that wide, stable stance with your elbows. Tuck the toes. Lean onto the support that you just created. Engage the core. Lift the knees off the floor and come up. Walk your feet towards the chair. Stay here in dolphin posture. And then bend the knees, come back up to standing. Okay, now we're going to move into the meditation part of this morning's practice. So I'm going to read the words from Dalai Lama again, and then we're going to have like 6 minutes of meditation together. So as far as our contact with fellow human beings is concerned, our mental attitude is very crucial. Even for a non-believer, just a simple, honest being, the ultimate source of happiness is in our mental attitude. Even if you have good health, material facilities used in the proper way, and good relations with other human beings. The main cause of a happy life is within. The main cause of a happy life is within. So with that in mind, let's spend 5-6 minutes in meditation reflecting on Dalai Lama's words. Sitting up tall, bring awareness to your breathing, maybe drop into your third eye, midbrain, mind's eye, and allow for guidance. Here we go. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Move your head from side to side. Maybe place your hands in Anjali Mudra, holding your own heart in between your hands with self-love and self-compassion. Thank your inner guide. Or maybe bow your head in gratitude for this practice, thousands of years old. Thank your inner guide, your past, present, and future teachers, and all the people that are joining you on this journey. Open your eyes, raise your gaze, and thank you so much for practicing together this morning. Namaste.